Qiuyuan's banner is just a week away, and it's finally time to analyze his full kit, the best ways to play him, and more importantly, who to pair him with. Starting with his kit, his main gameplay revolves around his Forte bar, which can accumulate up to 600 Swordster's Soliloquy points. You can gain these points in multiple ways. Performing Basic Attack Stage 3 grants 100 points, holding Basic Attack to perform Stage 4 gives another 100 points, performing a dodge counter gives 100 points, and performing an intro skill instantly gives 400 points. So what happens when we accumulate these points? Just after performing his intro skill, you'll start with 400 points and gain the Bamboo's Shade effect, granting all nearby active resonators in the team a 30% Echo skill damage bonus for 30 seconds. Keep in mind, this buff applies to the entire team. Then, after performing Basic Attack Stage 3 and 4, you'll gain 200 more points. Once you reach 600 points, Qiuyuan enters a special state called Ink Splash of Mind, lasting for 8 seconds. During the state, Qiuyuan's heavy attacks are enhanced and deal increased damage. Here's the key part. His heavy attacks are considered Echo skill attacks, but the damage itself scales as heavy attack damage. Some important notes. After casting the intro skill, if you press normal attack, you can perform Basic Attack Stage 3 to get 400 from the intro and 100 from Stage 3, a total of 500 points. This rotation provides insanely fast cycling, making Qiuyuan a very smooth support to play. After gaining 600 points, his first inherent skill activates, providing 50% more damage to his enhanced heavy attacks and additionally restoring 30 Concerto energy on hit. His second inherent skill reads, when casting Echo skill, Qiuyuan's Bamboo Flask absorbs the overflowing energy and brews it into Flowing Panacea. The next time Swordster's Soliloquy is obtained, the Flowing Panacea is consumed to grant a 10% ATK increase for 20 seconds. Coming to his Resonant skill, it has two forms, Tap and Hold, which is honestly one of the coolest mechanics in the game. If Resonant skill is cast while being attacked, Qiuyuan becomes immune to that damage instance, staggers nearby enemies, and gains immunity to interruption during the skill. Holding Resonant skill makes him dash forward, dealing arrow damage considered as Echo skill damage, at the cost of stamina. His Liberation skill deals arrow damage considered as Echo skill damage and provides up to 30% crit damage. If Qiuyuan's crit rate exceeds 50%, he gains 2% crit damage for every 1% crit rate above 50%, up to 30% additional crit damage. His Outro skill provides 50% Echo skill damage amplification to the incoming resonator for 14 seconds, which is incredibly strong for Echo skill damage dealers. Now that we've covered his full kit, let's talk about rotations. His basic support rotation starts with Intro, plus Basic Attack Stage 3, hold Basic Attack Stage 4, or Dodge Counter to gain 600 points and enter his special state. Then perform Enhanced Heavy Attacks to deal Echo skill damage and Liberation, then swap to your main DPS. That's the basic rotation when playing him as a support.
You can also use him as a quick swap buffer. After performing his intro, immediately swap to units like Galbrena to fully utilize his 30% Echo skill damage buff, since it lasts for 30 seconds, and then swap back to Qiuyuan to refill his bar and perform his outro. When you play Qiuyuan as a DPS, the rotation changes, which honestly isn't recommended right now, since there aren't many supports who can make use of his broken outro skill. As a DPS, you'll generally want to fill his bar fully, performing Intro, Basic Attack, Hold Attack, and consume the bar with Enhanced Heavy Attacks. Then refill and repeat, swapping to supports in between. Now let's talk about how to build Qiuyuan. His best Echo set will be 3-piece Law of Harmony and 2-piece Arrow DMG using a crit rate 4 cost and Arrow DMG 3 cost. Try to cross 65% crit rate. If you can't, you might want to run him with a 4-4-1-1-1 setup. For weapons, his signature weapon is obviously his best in slot, not only providing crit rate from its passive, but also Echo skill damage for your whole team, along with solid personal damage. You can also use the standard sword, which helps maintain crit rate. Red Spring is another crit rate option, and it's his second best in slot after the signature. For 4-star options, both Somnoir Anchor and Lumen Gloss are good choices. Now let's talk about teams. Even though Qiuyuan mainly focuses on echo skill units, he has quite a few team options. We'll start from his premium setups to the most F2P friendly ones. His premium teams obviously revolve around Galbrena and Phrolova. This is currently the strongest team, where you start your rotation with Phrolova, then Qiuyuan, then Galbrena. This team synergizes perfectly, where Phrolova gives heavy attack buffs to Qiuyuan, while Qiuyuan provides echo skill damage to Galbrena, triggering multiple echo skills to maximize Phrolova's off-field damage. The only disadvantage is that this team lacks sustainability, since no one provides healing or shielding. You can also run Qiuyuan with Phrolova and Contarella. Contarella can provide healing and can benefit from Qiuyuan's buffs, technically maximizing Phrolova's potential even further. This team is actually stronger than Contarella plus Rakia plus Phrolova. Talking about his teams with Galbrena specifically, just using both of them together already deals over 1.2 million total DPS, which is insane. Qiuyuan is undoubtedly the best in-slot support Galbrena can have, and honestly, no one even comes close, since he's the only echo skill buffer in the entire game. Teams like Galbrena plus Qiuyuan plus Short Keeper are as strong or even stronger than Mono Spectro, and only a few % lower than Mono Fusion teams. That's because Qiuyuan and Short Keeper's personal damage is a bit lower compared to Lupa and Brant. If you want to see in-depth Galbrena team comps with Qiuyuan and others, check out our full guide linked in the description. Now coming to other setups, you can actually play him as a DPS with heavy attack buffers like Iuno and Mortify, since around 70% of his damage comes from heavy attacks, allowing him to make full use of heavy attack buffs. You can also use teams like Sayakona and Iuno with him. But keep in mind, as I mentioned before, his personal damage isn't as high as units like Iuno or Sayakona, so you'll most likely want to play him as a support instead to take advantage of his insane outro and universal buffs like crit damage. Speaking of that, Qiuyuan can also be played alongside Cartathia's team as a burst support. Since his crit damage buff comes from his liberation, you can actually give him a 3-cost energy recharge echo to perform his liberation every 30 seconds, especially if you don't have a dedicated support for Cartathia, who's HP scaling and can't make use of attack buffers. You can technically play him as a buffer in any team, but it's not really recommended, especially with attack-scaled DPS units, since there are better options available. If you want to know more about team setups with other units, do check out this video. So finally, is he worth pulling on your account? He's definitely the best support for Galbrena compared to any other unit, but his teams with Galbrena perform at a similar level to Mono Fusion. So if you already have a Mono Fusion team with Lupa, he's not going to be a big upgrade. But if you don't have proper supports for Galbrena and are running her with more Tefi or even Iuno, Qiuyuan will be a massive damage upgrade for your team, definitely worth pulling. Talking about Phrolova, he can help her reach her full potential as an off-field damage dealer, but keep in mind, his echo skill buffs don't apply to Phrolova when she's off-field. He only buffs the quantity of Hecate, which is still a decent upgrade, but he's still not worth pulling compared to Contarella. If your goal is to maximize Phrolova, Contarella is still the better option. Qiuyuan's advantage is that he's the only echo damage buffer, but at the same time, that also restricts him. He does provide crit damage, but that alone isn't worth investing in a character, especially when his personal damage isn't comparable to someone like Brant, who can actually slot into teams for strong DPS. So yes, the only real reason to pull Qiuyuan right now is if you don't have Lupa, Brant, or Phrolova and want to maximize Galbrena's potential. In that case, Qiuyuan is a considerable upgrade. Other than that, his value in the current meta is pretty low. I hope this video helped you make your decision. Let me know in the comments if I missed any points or if you have any questions in mind. Till then, see you in the next one.